Welcome back to the Queen Rising podcast. I'm your host, Misty, and I am a confidence and energy and alignment coach. I work with women who are usually the ages of 30 to 50 who want to regain their energy, regain their confidence. Today, I want to talk about something so many of us have found ourselves in, and that's the constant need to hustle more, go for more. It's this constant push to be more, to do more, and it's exhausting. Our worth is constantly measured on how much we do, and we wear busyness like a badge of honor. But what if that version of success is not your version of success? What if you are made for something different? If you've ever felt exhausted by the hustle and grind, this episode is going to help you reimagine success on your own terms. I'm going to be presenting on this very topic at the Neurodivergent Business Summit coming up next week, and I want to give you a sneak peek. But if this resonates with you, you definitely want to join us for the summit. And you're not only going to hear from me, but there are going to be multiple other business owners and creatives who have ADHD or are neurodivergent that are going to be sharing mindset tips, alignment tools, and or systems to help you do business better. So let's talk about hustle culture. It's the 24/7. It's like the nonstop. It's the grind. It's the do more. It's the your worth is based on what you do and not who you are. It's on based on your output, how much you can do for other people. So if you early on in my business journey, I got involved with a network marketing company. Now, many of you know my story around my weight loss success. I ended up overcoming emotional eating. I dropped 36 pounds. A lot of people wanted to know what I was doing. And I started sharing the products that I was using. I think I made a new word. So, and I was able to create additional income with that, and I loved it. However, the narrative that was pushed in the business community with other business owners that were doing the same thing, it was this constant hustle and grind. It's the you don't eat unless you sell something today. It was the mindset of we don't sleep until we hit a certain number. And this especially came into play at the end of the month because everyone was trying to hit a certain number, a certain sales quota. And there was this notion of like at the end of the month, the 31st of September, the 31st of October, you were hustling all day long and you did not go to sleep until like you could no longer make sales for the night, which what for me, because the company was in California and I am in Ohio, that meant I would not go to sleep until 3 a.m. I was trying to keep making sales all night until I couldn't make sales anymore. And I really didn't do that. I got to be honest, I didn't do that. But there was a little bit of a stigma around if you were going to be successful, this is what you did. And if you weren't successful, it's probably because you weren't trying hard enough. I no longer operate my business in that way. Many of you know I don't even follow the traditional calendar month anymore. I follow the new moon, the full moon. I operate my life by the lunar cycle, and that doesn't normally follow the calendar month. I also don't believe in hustling until you burn out. I don't believe you have to chase success. I believe in hard work and discipline and doing things that you need to do. However, I don't think you need to trade your sleep in for more work hours. I actually don't think working more hours necessarily equates to more success. And as a woman, sometimes more rest is required because when you rest, you get new ideas and you feel refreshed and you're able to get more done. More on that later. If you are someone with ADHD, the hustle is even more damaging. Most productivity hacks don't work for people with ADHD because our energy is not a constant flow of energy. We have high points and we have low points. There are days when we get a lot of done, and then there's days when we don't get much done. And if you are following the traditional hustle and grind, and there are days when you don't get as much done, this could cause a lot of shame. Like you could feel shame that you're not where you should be, or you're not doing as much as the next person beside you. Hustling isn't always the fastest path to success. Hustling usually equates to more hours worked, more followers gained, more money earned. But if you are neurodivergent, some of those things may not matter to you as other things. That may not be your version of success. Aligned success is how much energy you have from the things you're doing. Are you lit up? Are you fulfilled? Do you have freedom, flexibility in your time, in your schedule, in your life? Some of those things are probably going to be more important than necessarily how many followers you have on Instagram or how much money you earned in commissions. Hustle is very much about control and forcing things, whereas alignment and flow is about allowing things. It's about trusting yourself that you don't have to force things. So let's talk about how to escape the hustle, how to redefine success. First, I want you to redefine your productivity. I want you to focus on results and not out. So one thing I do every day is I look at my top 3 priorities. What are the top 3 things I want to get done? And I'm not necessarily looking about how many hours I worked. I'm looking at what is the biggest bang for my buck? What is going to be the biggest return on my investment? And this may be a new concept if you have been an employee your whole life versus now you're an entrepreneur. Now your time is more valuable as an entrepreneur, and you're not necessarily getting paid per hour, but you're getting paid for the results you produce. I want you to honor your natural energy cycles. So there are a few different ways you can do this, but most of us do not have natural energy like in a 9 to 5 way. So there may be certain times of the day when you know you have more energy and more creative space to work with. Some people are morning people, other people are more night owls. I know my zone of genius, my highest capacity of working is usually between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You can also look to the lunar cycle and or your menstrual cycle if you have a menstrual cycle, and look at where you're going to have. And I also want you to look at aligning growth. This isn't necessarily about putting the hours in or a certain number of anything in. Look at the kind of relationships you can build, the kind of aligned offers you can create, collaborations. We can do more with other people than we can on our own. And I have talked a lot about this when I talk about the masculine feminine dynamics. The masculine is about force, it's control, it's about doing as much as you can. the masculine usually do have more energy. They're more disciplined. They have more focused energy. They have a flat line of energy, whereas the feminine is more up and down. And the 9 to 5 world was created for men by men. So it wasn't made for women. And it definitely wasn't made for neurodivergent. Whereas the feminine is we create results through connections, through collaborations, through empathy, compassion. In the Queen's Code, I talk a lot about the 4 queens and how they all bring something different, but it is about embodying your feminine energy. So if you want to learn more about the Queen's Code, I will leave the link below. If you are wanting to increase your energy, it has to do with letting go of that hustle and coming back into alignment, utilizing your natural zone of genius, your natural gifts. And success does not mean hustle. It does not mean force, and is not about competition. But when you can follow your own path, you can get into alignment with who you are, the gifts that you have to share, because we're all different. We all have a unique skill set. If you want to dive deeper into this, I would welcome you to join us at the Neurodivergent Business Summit, where you're going to learn from multiple speakers who are talking about a variety of different topics related to people who are neurodivergent and how you can do business better.